Alright. Hello. Um, Hi guys. I know it's been a while since I stream on this channel, but it's 2026. Happy New Year. Welcome to a new year, and this year I hope is a year where we get to, achieve, um, you know, s- yeah. Before I want to make sure that it's okay. It's working. Nice. All right. So. Happy New Year and welcome to 2026. So, my plan for this stream is to reflect and plan my year. Last year I did the same thing, but I didn't like, what's the word? Don't know. I didn't, I don't even know how this works anymore. Last year I didn't, I forgot. Yeah, last year I didn't stream. I didn't stream my goals uh, for the year, but I had it written down somewhere and I'm proud to say that I achieved my most important goal for last year. And the main reason why I decided to do this stream this year is to first of all hold myself accountable, um, and basically, if I stream this, it means that I have a much better chance of actually achieving. I have a much better chance of actually achieving, uh, you know, achieving my goals, because it keeps me in check and I could always come back to it whenever I don't have enough motivations, whenever I am down. I could always come back to it and you know just just watch it again. So what I'm gonna do now is I already have a bunch of stuff that I've written down, a bunch of goals that I've written down that I would love to achieve, and I'd love to share them with you guys if you don't mind. Not like you would, because I was already. I'm having a bit of problem with my OBS, but I don't know. Hopefully the hair goes away. Um, yeah. Anyways, yeah. I'm gonna bring up my goals. So these are the goals I've written down for my 2026, and every action that I take from the start of the year to the end of the year would be based off these goals. The main reason why you write goals is to make sure that every decision you make is pointing towards something. Like you need to have a purpose while you're doing what you're doing. That's what we write goals for. Last year, my ultimate goal was to get a software engineering placement, I mean internship, and I did. Uh, prior to the time I was preparing for my placement, I was learning new technology, I was going for conference, I was doing all this stuff uh, because I already have a goal in mind. So it wasn't really a struggle or a stress for me. I was doing them because I know they serve a certain purpose. There's a reason why I'm doing them. Uh, so yeah, and I got the internship. I'm currently working as a software engineer intern, and I'm loving it. So this year I said, why don't I do the same? Why don't I write down my goals, share it online, so you also motivate people that would love to do the same. Someone also motivated me to also do this, and I figured, yeah, why don't I do it? Like, what's gonna, it's not gonna hurt anyone, it's not gonna hurt me too, so I'm just gonna do it. So yeah, let's talk about my goals for 2026. So this is my top goal for 2026. My top goal is to get a return offer after my placement. As we all know, it's kind of hard right now out there to get a job, especially in tech, due to a lot of reason. And I don't want to go through the stress of finding a job after my graduation. Uh, so I'm working towards improving myself, bettering myself, kind of like being the best version of myself and growing, learning from people, and hopefully bettering myself and hopefully getting a return offer for my placement. And my second goal is to build at least 5 projects. So I'm kind of someone who enjoys a lot more infrastructure related technologies like Ansible, Terraform, provisioning server, managing servers and stuff. So when it comes to project in that aspect of career, I think more project would be maintaining my home lab, automating some processes in my home lab, building a CLI tool, building a TUI for circuit management, a lot of other cool stuff. Last year, I did build a lot of project last year. I wouldn't say a lot, it was just a long time project last year. And the project was built in my home lab. Uh, I do have a home lab that I maintain, and let me see if I can um, share that real quick. So this is my home lab. It's called NixOS config. I should rename this from NixOS config to home lab. So basically, it's my home lab where I manage multiple kind of like virtual machines, um, and multiple node and servers and Proxmox and just infrastructure stuff. This home lab serves as a personal learning lab for me because I've been able to learn like different technologies. I've been able to tinker with new technologies. I've been able to break stuff. I've been able to, it's just opened a lot of doors for me really in terms of learning networking, automation, CI/CD. This is like a gold mine, right? So it's a very big project actually, and I'm looking to improve that this year. Basically, grow my home lab to a stable and production ready, production ready infrastructure. And yeah, so that's like one project. And the other project I built was a circuit vault. It's basically a circuit vault built with Nginx. Uh, it is currently being used by my home lab, but I use it to manage like my secrets and basically my credentials. And what it does is whenever I rebuild my NixOS configurations, NixOS would, the Flix would pull the secret and decrypt the secret and then pass it on to the services that needs these secrets. So it's just a simple project actually, but I love it. It's currently active because I maintain it, and yeah, it's going pretty well. And one other project is my personal blog. which I use to share, important stuff that I'm working on. For example, this is my blog. It's just a simple blog. I use it to share things that I'm working on, uh, or things that I've worked on, explain stuff. So it's also one of my projects for last year. And I also have N8N, which is kind of like an automation software. I use it to automate ticket creation for my linear and other things. I also built my own custom ArtGuard instance that I use across my entire home lab. So I do have a custom domain that I use to access my service, my private service. For example, this is my S3 bucket, and it uses my custom domain that I have defined in my ArtGuard instance. So yeah, I built quite a lot of project last year, and this year I'm looking to build more project and see what I could learn from it. So my goal this year is to build at least 5 projects. To be honest, I don't know what the projects are currently. Don't really know, but um, I believe since I have it written down, at least anytime an idea comes to mind, I will pursue the idea and try to make something of it. Read at least 2 software development books. Yeah. So um, I have a few, you know, software development books that I want to read, and this could be relating to infrastructure or software development. I am mostly interested a lot in infrastructure than web development, so I just want to make sure I read 2 books. One of the book I have in mind is Kubernetes. I have already downloaded um, the Kubernetes book. It's currently in my, or is it? It's currently in my, I don't know what's wrong with mine here. Yeah, so it's currently in my bucket. If you go to books, you see I have a few books on Kubernetes and a few books on uh, Linux. So I think the next book I'm going to read is Kubernetes Up and Running. But before I do that, I want to, um, sorry, but before I do that, I want to learn, what's the word? I want to learn Kubernetes the hard way. So Kubernetes the hard way is basically a project where you get to provision Kubernetes control plane and Kubernetes worker nodes, but you're doing this the traditional way. You're doing this from scratch, and it's better than just spinning up a K3s cluster or a KS8 cluster or a KS8 node. I mean, this one you get to learn the inner fundamentals of Kubernetes and how it works. And I am a bit scared of starting this because the name alone is pretty scary. Kubernetes the hard way. Normally, I know Kubernetes is a very complicated, um, technology to learn. But that's just based on what I've been hearing. I've actually haven't really gone too deep into it, so this year I'd love to do that. Uh, I would also love to expand my knowledge on some certain topics, for example, Ansible, Terraform, Nix, and Go. I currently already have fundamental knowledge on each of this topic because last year I spent quite a bit of time to learn about all of this. I use Ansible in my own lab to manage my. Let me show you. Yes, I use Ansible to manage my infrastructure. Basically, I use it to back up some of my container and services. I use it to back up my container and my container volumes on storage, and I send it over to my Minio S3 bucket. So yeah, basically use it for just simple stuff, and I plan to expand on that this year. Learn a lot more about. Did I keep mentioning Kubernetes or Ansible? I don't know. Yeah, basically learn a lot more about Ansible, how to write much better and efficient playbooks, and a lot more. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do this year. Also Terraform on the other end. I want to use Terraform. I want to learn more about Terraform. Currently, I would say I am 80% strong when it comes to using Terraform because I use Terraform at work a lot, and I also use Terraform in my home lab also to provision uh, a few services. For example, I have a Terraform folder where I have a Docker lab and I have Terraform config to basically provision a Docker container and also Nginx container, right? Uh, so the reason why I don't really use Terraform much in my home lab is because I use Nix OS, which is built on Nix language, and Nix itself is a infrastructure as code language. It lets you basically declare configurations that could be reused and just a lot more like Terraform, but does a lot more than Terraform. And so using that kind of operating system means that I don't really need to use Terraform because it could do the job that Terraform would do for me. But I still use it in my home lab just in case and just to learn more about Terraform. If one day at work I need to work on a system that is not Nix-based system, then obviously that means I need to be able to use Terraform to perform certain actions. Uh, the other one is Nix. So as you all know, Nix is what I use to run my home lab. My home lab currently runs on a Nix operating system, Nix OS operating system, and it is built with Nix language. And this home lab has been running for over 1.5 years now, and Nix OS is the first Linux operating system that I have ever used. Maybe Ubuntu, but not really much. Nix is like the main operating system that I dive into, and yeah, I just feel like if I'm using Nix daily, I need to know more about the language. I have spent quite a bit of time to take courses on Nix, go through documentation, but I still feel like have got a lot more to learn. So I might not be learning too much, but I would definitely be, just keeping my eye out for new things that come out in Nix and seeing how I could improve. Basically, what I'm going to be doing for Ansible and Terraform, I'm not going to be taking any course on them or uh, reading the books on them. No, I'm just going to be keeping my eye out for new things that come out in this space. Say, for example, an improved version of Terraform or an improved way of writing Ansible playbooks, just random stuff. And how I plan to be doing this is basically reading blogs or signing up to blogs that talk about these tools like Medium. I currently have a Medium uh, subscription that I use, and I will just have to subscribe to writers that talk about each of these tools, just so I could uh, you know be up to date with them, and maybe also join a Discord server for both Ansible and Terraform if there are some. Currently, I have a Discord server and a Reddit community for Nix and also for Nix. So maybe I'll also do the same for both of them. Go. Last year I tried the Go language. It, every year I always try to learn new languages. Last year was more of Nix and Go, but I didn't really go too deep into the Go language because I was occupied with work. but I was able to take, the Go fundamental course. And I think I did have a stream on that on the YouTube channel where I was basically learning Go. So, but I didn't go too deep into the language. But I want to learn Go this year, basically just to improve myself and also to just learn a new language because the world is growing. New language are coming out each a lot, maybe every month, I don't know. But Go speaks to me, and I feel like I should learn it. So Go, and also I need to get better at Neovim. This is kind of like a what's that word? Developer experience, improving developer experience. Yeah, I want to do this just to improve my 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 developer productivity. I use Neovim every day, sometimes at work, mainly for writing markdowns or writing um, Nix configurations. And I am going to be, uh, yeah, I'm just going to be improving my Neovim configurations when I have the time. It is not a priority. It's just something that I feel like would help me improve my productivity. My priority at the moment is basically, um, 1, 2, 3, 4 as like my priority when it comes to my career. And these ones are just kind of like optionals, but they are also have to be done sometime this year. I also want to get better at talking on camera. As you can see, I'm streaming my goals for 2025. I have, um, I've never done this before. I mean, I do stream, but I've never actually, reflect this much on the internet. But I just want to do it. I just feel like it'd be good to watch this at the end of the year, seeing how much I've achieved and seeing that I did well. So yeah, I'm going to be streaming. Uh, when I start learning Kubernetes the hard way, I'm going to stream my learnings and my process. When I start reading the books, I'm also going to be streaming because the books are currently PDFs, so they're not hardcover. So I could basically just have a split screen, have the book on one side and my learning on the other side, and we could do it together. I'm also going to be streaming if I am building any personal project like my home lab, what I've learned, new technologies. I'm going to be streaming that this year. When it comes to fitness, I plan to go to the gym 3 times a week. Yes, I I used to go to the gym in the last 3 months past, but I stopped because I had a fatal accident and I broke my collarbone, and it was pretty tough at the time. Healed now actually, but not fully healed because I sometimes. Yesterday I planned to do. I didn't plan to do. Sorry, yesterday I did a push up, but I planned to do 30 rep. And when I got to the 10th rep, I started feeling pain in my collarbone. I thought I was fully healed, but feeling the pain means that I still need to take time to rest and not stress my collarbone. But I don't want to let that to affect me. I still plan to, hit the gym, try to maybe lift a much lighter weights rather than, heavier weights that I used to lift. And yeah, that's one thing I plan to do. I also plan to run 3 times a week. I not an athlete, but one of my ultimate goal for this year was to. The reason why I use was because it's already passed. I will explain what I mean by that. So my plan was to join the London Marathon for this year, but I realized that I should have signed up for the London Marathon for this year last year, April. So I won't be able to run this year. But my plan is to sign up for the 2027 London Marathon this year, April, and then start practicing my running from now to when I would have the marathon. I just wanted to do this as a way to tell myself that I could do it, and no matter how hard life gets, when you put your mind to something, you could achieve it. This is just a way for me to prove myself wrong on some things in life, and a way for me to tell myself that I could do it. And when it comes to hobbies, I want to publish a lot more blogs on my site. Yes, yes, yes. I want to write a lot more. I do have a few blogs that I've written this past few months that I need to publish on my site. These blogs ranges from different topics like philosophy, productivity, technical stuff, tutorials. I plan to write more this year and publish on my site just as a way for me to give back to the community or way for me to just maybe help someone out there who might also be going through certain problems and certain things. And most of the things that I've learned where I am today is because of people that share things on the internet, people that talk about these things, people that talk about what they've been working on, uh, books they've read, videos they've watched, people that do tutorials. I learn from all these people, and I feel like I want to give back also to that community. I want to give back to people, so I want to write a lot more. I also want to daily journal a lot more. Last year, one of my goals was to journal every day from the start of the year to the end of the year. And I'm very proud to say that I did that. Every day I journal what I'm working on, things that I did, things that I did not do, write, blockers and all that cool stuff. And I'm so proud of myself that I was able to achieve this goal. And this year I want to continue on that. I want to journal every day. And at the end of the week, I want to publish this journal on my BA blog. I have a blog that I share logs of what I've been working on. For example, um, this is something that I call my beer blog. I got introduced to beer blog from a guy called Steve. Steve is an engineer and he writes blog about what he's been working on and things he's learned and some other cool stuff. So he's kind of like a very strong motivation for me and introduced me to writing on beer blog. So ever since I discovered Steve, I've also been trying to do the same, trying to write about my day or a summary of my week and what I've been working on. This is my recent documentation, not documentation, my recent blogs on what I have worked on and what I've been working on. I do still have some other ones that I have not published yet, but I plan to do that this month and just publish them. So I plan to do more of that this year also, and hopefully I stick with it. Um, also, mm, yeah, also take more walks this year. Yes, I usually walk for long hours, and and then I would just, you know, forget to go outside and touch some grass or just um, just clear my mind. One thing I realized is that once you go for walks, once you go for maybe a long walk or a short walk, at the end of the walk, you feel happy. You feel like you've done something great. So I want to go for more walks this year. Maybe walk 3 times a week or walk every day if I have the chance. Yesterday I installed Strava on my phone. Strava is like a fitness tracking applications that you could use to track your uh, your process when you perform certain activity like running, walking, hiking, cycling and stuff. I started my Strava yesterday. I went for a little walk. I tracked the time that I spent, walking. At the end of the day, I could see like a record of how many miles I walk and how many calories I burn, and all the cool stuff. So I plan to do a lot more of that this year. Take my health a lot more seriously. Maybe also um, eat healthy, uh, eat well, I guess. Because I don't really eat, I rather waste a lot of time on my laptop and forget to eat, or basically not eat at all and eventually get burnt out. So this year, maybe I would try to eat a lot more. And then when it comes to life, I want to limit my phone usage. One thing I realized is I use a lot more. Uh, sorry. One thing I realized is I used a lot less screen time last year. I think my maximum screen time would be 2 hours. Usually it used to be like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. And one thing that really helped me was a guy video that I watched on YouTube. He shared this application called ScreenZen. ScreenZen is a software that basically blocks or restricts you from using an application after a certain period of time. So, for example, Instagram. I used to make use of Instagram for like 4 hours, 5 hours a day, just like doom scrolling. And one thing that this app helped me with is I can set a limit to a certain amount of time I want to use Instagram daily. For example, my Instagram is set to 1 hour a day, so I cannot use my Instagram for more than an hour a day. It just automatically blocks me from using the application. So what I did is I select a bunch of applications that I realized I was using a lot more of, and they're not really making that much impact in my life. And I set 1 hour limit to each of those applications. So each of these applications share an hour time frame. So if I exceed an hour in this application, I get locked out for the entire day. And I'm proud to say that on Instagram, I'm currently on, let me see, I'm currently on a 200 and I'm not sure if you could see that, on a 261 day streak, meaning that I haven't been using Instagram for more than an hour a day for 261 days. Sometimes I don't even use it up to an hour, so it's been very helpful so far. At the start it was pretty challenging, but eventually I just got better at it, and I don't really think about Instagram that much anymore, to be honest. And one thing I also like about it is I get like a 10 minute interval to use the application for an hour. So for example, when I open Instagram now, I get like a 10 minute to use Instagram. And once that 10 minutes is over, the app gets logged out, and I have to log in. I have to log in back again and then use it for another 10 minutes. So I have like 6 10 minutes, which is in total an hour to use Instagram. So sometimes I just give up. Like I don't have to. I don't want to use it for 10 minutes anyway. Let's just not use it at all. So it's been very good. I want to read more books this year. Last year I read quite a few books. I have them right there, but I cannot like show you because my laptop is using the books as a stand. But I'm going to list the names of books I read last year. The Organized Mind. The Organized Mind is a very good book. It teaches you how to basically stay organized and focused in a world where there is a lot of information that we process each day. It teaches you how to consume information the right way, how to organize and structure the information that you consume. It's a very good book and I would recommend to anyone. I read The Life of a Stoic. The Life of the Stoic is a very good book also. It basically explains, the Stoics and stories about them, stories about their life, from the master to the master to the master, and a lot more about them. I would recommend the book to anyone. I also read Quiet. Quiet by Susan Cain is one of the most life-changing book I've ever read because I'm an introvert and the book talks about how being an introvert is a superpower. It is not what people think. There is levels to introvertism, and as an introvert, you, being an introvert doesn't mean that you're dumb, stupid, or just a loner. You're not. Uh, Being an introvert means that you are aware that you're an introvert. You could not manipulate, but you could make use of your power as an introvert to basically achieve certain goals in life. I don't know how to explain this to you. It's just a very cool book, and I would recommend to anyone who wants to understand where they belong in terms of introversion and extroversion, or want to understand more about the life of an introvert. Uh, and the current book I'm reading is called Stopping the Noise in Your Head. I'm not done with this book. I got this book from work, but I plan to continue this book. So that'll probably be one of the first of the three books that I plan to read this year. Um, the reason why I put three is because I don't want to, I don't want to put 10 books out or like that because I might not even have the time to read 10 books. But three book would be the minimum. I could read a lot more than three if I want to read it a lot more than three. But three books minimum. I plan to read 5 pages a day or maybe um, read when I'm on the train to work or when I'm coming back from work. Just those times when you would be prompted uh, to pick up your phone. Why not just have the book in my backpack and just read that, right? I also plan to meet more people and create long-term friendships. I used to be a cold stone introvert. Like I barely talk to people. I just stay at home and do my thing. But ever since the start of my placement, I have learned to know more about people and see what part of myself I want to show to people. I've been able to see that people actually do like my personality and people actually do want to be friends with me. And I also want to be friends with people. Long story short, I've learned more about myself that I'm ready to make more friends, more real friendship, and know more about people and connect with people, communicate with people. My year, last year, was a very eventful year because of the friends I made. They introduced me to a lot of cool things like going for hikes, like going for wall climbing, which is bouldering, you know, going on uh, um, sky not skyscraper, like rooftop and just talking about life, playing cards. I learned a lot of cool stuff last year because of the friends that I made at work that became real friendship. And that made me realize that there are a lot of things that I'm missing out on just by not making friends, right? So I plan to do a lot of that this year. I plan to visit and call my family a lot more. So um, I do visit my family every weekend, but sometimes I don't have the financial aid to visit them. But I also plan to call them a lot more. I'm not a fan of phone calls because I don't really use my phone that much. I try to stay as much as possible from using it because I could just easily get diverted to Instagram and start doom scrolling. So I plan to call them a lot more this year. Um, Also my driving, I plan to complete my driving test. I want to get a car, and in order to get a car, you need to know how to drive, or you need to, before you can know how to drive, you need to pass your driving theory test. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of that also. And finally, save up for my final year. This is a goal that I might not be able to achieve because my plan is to pay for my final year based off the money that I earned from my placement, which I'm currently on. But it's been 6 months, and most of the money that I got paid has gone into the fee for my previous year. It's been tough when it comes to financially surviving, but hopefully with the few months that I have left, I will be able to save up something to help my final year. So yeah, I just want to say this is just a base goal. Definitely, I'm going to be refining them and making them a lot more goally. But it's always good to just write these things down, just to tell yourself that these are the things that I really want to focus on this year. Because when you do this, every decision you make, every decision that you make from the time you write your goals down to the end of the year will be based off what you've written down. In life, one thing I realize is once you have a purpose, once you have a goal in front of you, every decision you make would always be because of that goal, right? It would be towards that goal. Like, for example, I have a goal to become an infrastructure engineer. Me writing these goals for my 2026 is a goal that I see myself actually having to achieve in order to become a much better infrastructure or platform engineer. So that's like my ultimate goal, which is like maybe in a year or two. But the goals that I've written down now is basically goals that would help me become that person, that ultimate goal. So that's one thing about goals. You write goals because you want, it's like your own personal roadmap to a much better phase in life. So this is just my goal for 2026. Obviously, there's a lot more that I feel like could be added or will be added or will be removed, but I'm glad I wrote it. At least I have something to focus on for the year. I would urge you guys to also do the same. Take spend a few time of your day to write your goals, and if you want to share with people, you can share with people. And to be honest, I think if I do later on refine my goal, I would write a blog on it and write the reason why I decided to not go on with a particular goal, the reason why if I had a new goal, why I added the new goals. So you guys should also do the same. Write down your goals, and trust me, it does help a lot. And thank you guys for watching. If you do, uh, see you next time on the stream.